Hello, my name is Chris. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing Leetcode number 13, Roman to integer. This is considered an easy problem. Let's see, Roman numerals are represented by 7 different symbols. I, V, X, L, C, D, and M. Each one of these symbols represents a different value. So I is 1, V is 5, X is 10, L is 50, so on and so forth, right? So, for example, 2 is written as 2 i's in a Roman numeral, just 2 1's add together. 1, 2 is written as x22, right? So, basically, if you got 2, we just got 2 i's. If you got 12, we've got 10 plus 2 i's is 2, right? Then the number 27, you've got 2 x's to give you 20. V to give you 5, and then 2 i's for 2 more, and that gives you 27. So Roman numerals are usually written largest to smallest from left to right. However, the numeral for 4 is not 4 i's. Instead, the number written 4 is written as IV, because the 1 is before the 5. We subtract it, making 4. The same principle applies to the number 9, which is written as IX. So this happens in 6 instances, right? The first 2 are the ones I just explained. I before V is going to be 4, and I before X is going to be 9. X before L is going to be 40, and X before C is going to be 90. C before D is going to be 400, and C before M is going to be 900, right? So again, you wouldn't write, for example, 40 as 4 x's. You would write 40 as L or XL, right? So that it would be like 50 minus 10 equals 40. Okay, so this, of course, is the tricky part about this this particular algorithm. Other than that, it's pretty simple, and even that is not that hard to figure out. But all we need to do here is just create an object to store these key value pairs, loop through our string, and then create a variable called results, initialize it to 0, and then as these symbols come up, we add to result whatever the value is that key is representing. However, we do need to deal with this, so what we're going to do is we're going to use an else-if statement that looks for these cases. And so that's going to be our approach. So we're going to move over to CodePen, because I like solving my algorithms in there. I already have some variables set up so that's ready to go. All right, so let's create a function. We're going to call it func. And I'm going to take this object here, and I'm going to put it in there, and I got to uncomment it, of course. Okay, so here's our object, basically representing this table here. Okay. And so, like we said, we're going to set up a variable called result, and we're going to set it to 0. And for now, we're going to return result, and then, of course, I forgot to do this. We have to console.log, activating our function here, so func. So now we should see 0 in the console. And we don't, because I can't spell return. There it is. Cool. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to loop through S. We're going to use a for loop for let I equals 0 if I is less than s dot length, increment by 1, so I plus plus. Oops, nice. I'm going too fast. Slow down. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to create an if-else statement with basically we're going to create an if statement and then 5 else if statements, right, to cover all this. And then we're just going to create an else statement that handles all the non-edge cases. So we can just go ahead and set that up, and this will go a lot faster. Else if copy that. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we just need an else statement. All right, so there's our if statement. Okay, so the first thing we need to check for is, you know what, I don't want to do it like that, because then we're not going to see how our code is working. And I like to see that. So first thing we're going to do is see if I can be placed before V, right? So we're going to say if S at I equals I and S at I, plus 1 equals V, then we're going to say result equals result plus equals 4. So now we should see 4 in the console. And we do, because we have this 4 right here. So now, one thing we need to also do at the end of this if statement is we also need to increment I one more position, right? Because I is only going to be moving once, right? So let's imagine that this I4 was here, right? There's no way it could be here because it doesn't make sense numerically, but whatever. So let's say you saw this IV and it was 4. Well, then what it's going to do is just for the next time through the for loop, it's just going to increment here and be on the V, and then it would add 5, right? And that's not what we want. So you need to increment I one more time. Okay, so now we need an else if statement, and we're going to change this to an X, and then we're going to change this to 9. We don't have that situation, so right now that's not doing anything. All right, so then we need to handle 14 and 19, is it? No, what am I saying? I'm sorry. And then we need to handle 40 and 90, right? So XL, XC. So else X L is going to give you 40, and then else if, oops, leave that out, Command V, we're going to change this to XC, X and C, and now we should see 94 in the console, right? Beautiful, because we have this IV, which is 4, and then XC, which is 90. Then we're going to say else if, we're going to handle 400. And what is this? I always forget. CD and CM. Right. So this needs to be C, and this needs to be M, and then this will be 400. And then we got one more to deal with. I already forgot what it is. I think that's wrong. XM? Wait, what? XD and XM. My bad. XD, XM. Now this is going to be 900. Yeah, we should see 994, right? Because we've got XM, 994. And then all we need to do for everything else is just say else. And then we're going to say result equals result plus equals, our object here is values at values where the key is S and I. There you go, 1994. All right, let's check all these other guys here. So we should see 3 now. We do. Very good. We should see, what is this? 58. No. Then this is 4. Or no, 9. Sorry, I mean 4. Okay, great. So I think this is good. Let's bring this on over to Leetcode. Make sure it passes all the tests. Cool. Let's submit it. Okay. Not the fastest algorithm in the world, but got the job done. Cool. All right. Well, thanks for watching this video. If you'd like to see more like this, please remember to like and subscribe to my channel. Enjoy your day.